Yeah.
22 now. Right now is what mine says. I gotta let my tablet catch up.
That's the reason why when I watch it on my TV, when I watch this on my TV, I turn the volume off. That way I can comment and it pops up on my TV, but there's a delay. So this will probably have a delay on it.
All right. We should be live. Y'all let us know if you can hear me, and then let me know if you can hear Ray. There's TPG, Matt HMM's in here some way. Clint Cole. Right now, mine says. Clint Cole actually must have got on the membership boat. He's green on my screen.
He paid the bill.
Yeah. See, Matt's in here, that Bowery boy. And I believe that's it so far. As far as in the chat, we've got 19 people, which we started a minute or two early to make sure everything's working right.
That's on.
Clint says he hears both of us.
Just don't watch. You know, I mean,
It's gonna throw me off.
Do what you want. I'm just saying, it's a big delay.
You can tell that Ray is the professional YouTuber that's making all the money. He's got people over there, camera people. He's got moderators. He's the big time.
Yeah. I don't know about that. If I was big time, I'd be doing it more often.
What's up, Ryan? What's up, Tom? So y'all be thinking of questions if you've got questions for Ray. As far as asking, other than that, it's just going to be our normal sit around and talk about whatever comes up type of thing. I don't have any kind of specific type deal. And if any of y'all haven't checked out Ray's channel, like maybe you watch, I think most people who watch my channel probably watch Ray's channel, but just in case you haven't, you might want to go over and check it out.
Yeah, if you have any questions for me specifically, put Ray and then the question. That way it'll pop up and we'll be able to tell who you're wanting to answer from.
Yeah, and then you're also going to occasionally get Ray's doggies in the picture too, which some of y'all like that. So
I think they kind of calmed down a little bit.
Oh,
she's been sweet.
She's a good girl. Hi.
So I was talking to Ray yesterday, like our day before yesterday. We were testing this out to make sure it was going to work. And I didn't put two and two together, and I probably missed a video here and there because, again, I'm pretty busy most of the time. I try to catch as many things as I can. But he was telling me that he's working for a company, and then also a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in his videos is kind of like him doing his own thing also on top of that. And I was talking to him and telling him that, that's a big thing that I think sometimes people don't understand. And I know that he was saying that, like, he had issues with his last job with filming videos and things like that. That was something that came up that I know you guys ask me about watch me work videos all the time. And I film some of them occasionally, but there's a ton of times where, I just can't film what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the case with most of you. If you're honest with yourself, there's probably times where you're working in a doctor's office or doing whatever, and you're like, I couldn't film this even if I wanted to film YouTube videos. So that's a lot of times whenever I don't film things. And Ray, like, firsthand kind of dealt with that some in his own work life, because whenever I worked for the campus that I worked for, I didn't really even ask him, is it okay for me to film videos? I just started filming some. I always made sure there wasn't anybody like around. Like, I wouldn't have filmed videos with the residents that live there or anything like that, like on film or something. But I didn't know that. So that was neat to know that you're kind of doing two things at once right now.
Right. Yeah, I just had some issues with the company I was working for up north, and they were basically threatened me to fire me if I didn't take down the videos. I saw one person ask about that, and yeah, I did delete about 100 videos off the YouTube, but it was all dumb stuff anyways. And then I got smart about it, and I bought a big memory box, and I started downloading all the videos onto I call it the black box, so that in the future I could just redo the video. But
yeah,
that's how that got all squirrely. And the dog's name is Puddles. That's the one you're seeing, the white one. Stella's in the background. Somebody asked about that.
You can find
What's up,
a
James
song
Ridley?
that's similar to Joey.
What's that?
It says,
And
"You
then
can
Matt's
find
asking who's the lovely
setup
guest, and I already asked about the
similar
puppy's
to
name, so
Joey."
I think they're asking about your moderators, who your lovely guest is. So
Oh, my lovely guest,
Hello,
Lauren.
I'm Lauren.
This is Lauren. She's my neighbor, and I asked her if she wanted to join so she can help me read the comments. Because even with my fancy little glasses, it's real hard for me to see that the questions. So she kind of helped me out. So, you know, it happens when you get old.
yeah,
So I was hoping to do this on the computer because I got a bigger camera, but on the phone, you know, everything got real small real quick.
yeah. Basically, if I take my glasses off, I can't see nothing, like in front of my face. I'm still good. Like I could drive down the road and I can watch TV without my glasses, like if it's far enough away. But like read my watch and anything that's right in front of my face. That's the whole reason why I ended up getting glasses, because doing work, like trying to stick a screwdriver head in a screw, like up close, if I was like up and under something trying to get to it, I couldn't hit it for nothing. It stinks getting old.
This is Ray. The individual jobs are separate. All your tools and supplies or separate all your tools and supplies.
You know, partially deaf too.
Oh no, I did not know that. Okay, it says Ray. Sorry, for individual jobs are separate. All your tools or supplies. And then you said something when you moved into the place. You said you do that. Gotcha.
Yeah, if I'm reading that right, he's asking me if I'm keeping
I
it
think he's
separate.
asking you. I think
Yeah.
he's asking, are you like if you going to do you have like your pack outs and stuff like that set up like a drywall system or whatever, or you just kind of got everything lumped in like an I take everything to a job type
Right.
thing?
At the job I have, my 40-hour week job, I have everything set up there for doing drywall work. Basically, that's 90% of my job there is just drywall work because the guys that work there with me, they can't they can't straighten a line out if they painted it on there. You know? So in my van, I carry all my tools for doing home repairs and plumbing and stuff like that. So usually it's just whatever I need there, I'll leave it there. Um, that's about how I do it. I can leave it
Yeah.
there. I think sent you a picture of my pack out in the hallway one day. It's
Mhm.
like 3 tiers, and that's my roll around for work. You know,
Yeah, I think you probably do pretty similar to me. So like my
yeah,
truck is basically I can do anything out of my truck for the most part, but I don't carry like so today, for instance, I went to a doctor's office and tore out. I did the demo. We're tearing out. It's two bathrooms, tearing out one bathroom that's got a vanity and a toilet, making it a shower room. But I don't have any supplies necessarily in my truck for that, but I've got all the tools to do the work. And then basically every day, now that I know that this is the job that I'm doing, I'll come in here and start getting specific supplies that I'll need to do that job and put it in my truck. Because
right,
you're probably like me where you do so many different things just the same as I do, that if I carried the supplies for everything I did, I mean, I don't even think I could have a truck big enough because I have to have a Lowe's basically, like
right,
an entire hardware store. It's not like if I'm a commercial electrician or a residential electrician or a service person who only services this and HVAC, or if I'm even a carpenter that only does like cabinet installs or something, and that's my whole entire job and that's all I ever do, I could deck out my vehicle to be like every day perfect for whatever that job is, but I can't do that being a do everything type of person.
right.
So that's the kind of the worst part, in my opinion, of being somebody like you or somebody like me, is just
Right. Well,
having to have everything to do everything takes up a lot
right.
of room.
The cool thing about the van is that I have the layers of supplies in there. So I've got what's it, two, four, I think there's 6 or 8 of the pack outs that have maintenance supplies, like outlets and switches and tub
Yeah.
faucets and all kinds of. So
Yeah.
basically, it's because my side work is, or my company is, it's the same thing I do all day, but then I do it on someone's house because I don't.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of funny because if you watch my videos, you're like, "Well, this guy's renovating houses." No, I'm not. That's just a fluke thing that I got that
Yeah.
job, and it's somebody
Yeah.
I knew and was able to, But still, most of the parts I already had in the truck.
Yeah. See, I carry like I'll carry like a GFCI plug in my truck, a couple switches, a couple receptacles. I carry hot mud in my truck all the time. So
Right.
like I've got supplies to if I go to a service call job, I've got supplies typically to do whatever that is. Like, or I've even got a couple different supply lines in my truck for like if I got to change out a faucet or somebody's got one that's busted or whatever. Because that stuff doesn't take up that much room if you just have like one or two in your truck. And then basically, if I go to a job and I fix that, I come home and get another one out of my tote here in the
Right.
garage, replace it in my truck. Uh, the supplies where like I don't keep it in my truck is like my bigger jobs. It's like I'm not going to keep a whole box of deck screws and a whole box of, even though I probably go through a box of them,
Right.
every couple weeks or whatever, I don't load up like the big stuff. But I
Right.
do have stuff like to do service call type
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, like I said, I like
Just
to
because
keep
I
I like to
go
keep it
ahead.
so that it's just a bare minimum. I'm not packing in
Mhm.
3 tub
Yeah.
drains and 800 fittings for everything. It's just the basics. So if someone calls up and say, "Hey, man, my door's not shutting right," I know I've got the parts to run over there real quick and take care of it in the afternoon.
Yeah. And
It's just the
I
easy
also
stuff.
live in a pretty I live in a pretty rural area, and sometimes my service call for like residential homes and stuff, they're not close to a Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. And I
Right.
really hate going somewhere and it's like, oh, all I need is a GFCI receptacle, but now I got to drive 35 minutes back into town to go to the store to get one. It's like, so it's basically that kind of stuff. I try to make sure I have at least one in my truck, and I keep mine in pickup drawers, just like what you were saying too.
I do have another question.
James
Huh?
Ridley
It's
said, "Cool
not
hat,
from
Morgan." Yeah, I got this over at Klein Tools the last time they had me come down. So I've had this one since the first trip where I went down there. What's up, Denny O'Fools? I'm seeing if I missed anything.
and then
Fade
Max
properties, do a little
said,
everything. Been
what
trying to set up
skills do you
individual
say
job
are
boxes
rare
like a
in the
plumbing
maintenance
pack
guys
out
that
or a
you
door
train
install pack out.
use? What
What?
skills are
Oh, what
rare
skills?
from that?
Oh.
Yeah. He said, what skills are rare
I
Fake.
I think just
Let's see.
Matt's question was about the skills and
that you trained on and everything?
yeah,
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 I'll pin it.
it's kind of it just depends on where you're at and what's going on. Um, skills that are rare, I would have to say a good skilled plumbing and drywall.
Mhm.
That's a rare thing in my field.
Yeah.
That's really rare to find somebody that's decent at plumbing and drywall.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, this is what ends up being the big selling point for me, for a lot of my customers. I know this is the biggest reason why a lot of them just call me and say, come do it. And I don't even have to bid stuff most of the time. It's because, like, let's say somebody's got a plumbing problem or they want to add electrical or do whatever. And to do that, you're going to have to also tear up the drywall sometimes, or
Yep.
maybe it's a plumbing leak and the drywall's already messed up and you got to repair it. It's like, so somebody can call somebody like me or you or whatever and be like, I've had this happen and I can go do the whole entire thing. Like, so I'm the only person you have to call. I'm going to come and do it probably in one day, if not 2 days or whatever it is. Instead of you having to call a plumber, and every person you call is going to have a minimum
Yeah,
service
okay.
charge.
Oh,
So
Right.
you could have a plumber come out and do work for an
yeah, two
hour and
questions.
pay them their minimum, and then you can have
How'd
you
you
know,
live
then you're gonna
and
have to find a drywall person,
for
schedule
24/7?
that, do
What
all
would
that
you
kind of
do?
stuff. So
I
it may
guess
take you a couple weeks to fit into people's schedules for a small job to get that done. And I think that's the big selling point for somebody who has the capability to do all that because you can just do it all in one person you call, one person does it, and then there's no scheduling 15 people.
Right.
It's usually going to be cheaper because again, it's one service call type of thing.
Right.
But drywall, I think, is a thing. If you have the other skills and you don't have drywall in the mix, that's a big thing for you to learn, in my opinion, for you to be able to do the whole job from start to finish. Because there's a lot of people you can go fix something, but if you can't fix the drywall, that's a whole nother call for your customer, a whole nother person they've got to find, a whole nother person they've got to deal with. And if you can kind of just say, I'll just do all of it, I think that's a big selling point sometimes for a lot of people.
Right. It's good money too. It looks like
Yeah.
Tool.
And it's
Who was it?
actually not too like it's one of those things that I absolutely despised it whenever I first started doing it. And I also sucked at it. I wasn't very good at it whenever I first started doing it. And I think that's why I despised it, because it was just something that I wasn't very good at, because I didn't really understand it all. Like I would goop it on. I would sand between every coat. Like, I mean, I'd put it on pretty thick, sand, put it on
Right.
and it's really stupid now that I look back and think of it based on how I do it now. But once you actually learn how to do it, it's really not that bad. Like
Right.
I mean, the sanding is never fun. No, I don't care.
Right.
No matter how much it is, it's nasty. And especially it's not fun if you're working. Just like right now, I'm working in that doctor's office, which is completely occupied. I'm going to have quite a bit of drywall to do, quite a bit of finishing and all that kind of stuff. And you got to do a whole lot of prep work and stuff to make sure that that dust doesn't go, all over the place and in other rooms and all that kind of stuff. But again, it's just not it's not as bad as what it used to be for me. I don't mind it that much anymore in small spurts. Like, I hate doing big jobs. Like, it just gets old, but I don't mind doing small jobs of it.
Right. Tool collector wants to know where I live at. I live in the United States. I'm just joking. I live in Ohio.
I wish I wouldn't have I flipped my camera around before we started so that my words wouldn't be backwards, but now it's messing me up because what's on my screen's a delay, and then I can't see you. That's not a delay. Like, I'd be able to see you,
Right.
so I may spend 5 minutes and change this back while y'all are talking to Ray or while Ray's answering a question,
Sure.
because it's messing me up because I feel like I'm about to talk. Like, if I could see you to see if you were about to talk or something like that, it would be more useful than the words being.
You better flip that camera around, man. Flip it around.
So I am. I'm gonna flip it around while you're answering somebody's question.
Okay.
If they got something, I'm gonna swap back
No
to
problem.
this thing.
No
Which
problem.
actually, I might can flip it around pretty fast and just use the same deal I got going on. Let's see.
So Alex said, if you could choose,
Y'all gonna just have to learn how to read backwards.
What would it be?
Alex, your question about the tool, everyday carry tool, one tool. I think it would have to be my Milwaukee knife. It's got the blade and it's got the Phillips, the flathead, and the quarter drop. I carry that with me all the time. Believe it or not, a lot of the stuff that I fix, I can use that. So I think that's my number one go-to tool.
And then we also have Chris said to both, besides the major names, do you give Vever a yay or nay?
To the what?
Vever. V-E-V-O-R.
Vever.
Oh, bad.
That's good. You're good. You're good. Weaver tools, man, they're okay. They're cheap. I've still got. I did a video 2 years ago, maybe 3 now, that with electric Weaver sander, drywall sander. Now the attachments they came with was trash, but because I hooked it up to my shop vac, it was no big deal. But I've still got it and I use it every day. So Weaver tools. I've got my water hose. I did a video on that. They sent me that water hose reel, a retractable, and that thing's great, and it's cheap. Of course, I got it for free, but but yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a recommendation on Beaver tools, yeah, they're worth the money. I mean, they're not expensive. You can get the same thing through Beaver for a fraction of the price that you buy anywhere else.
Yeah. The only thing I think I've had from them is a sewer camera, and I mean, it's pretty good. I didn't have any problems with it. I was able to
Yeah.
use it and clear
I
clogs
had
and
that
be able
one.
to see
I had
everything.
that one weird company send me one, and the first one they sent me didn't work, and then they sent me another one, and it worked one time, and the head broke off. So they sent me another head, and I took the video down because I'm like, this is junk. I'm not telling people this is a quality
Was it,
tool.
what brand was it? Was it the Sandy Pace or something like that?
That's the brand name. Junk. Yep. See the name?
Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got one of those too. I haven't used that one quite as much as I've used the Beaver one. I got that one after the fact.
Yeah, it's a piece of
James
junk.
Ridley said I don't have James Ridley said I don't have any money, so I end up doing everything myself. That's funny. It's like that's honestly how I learned to do everything that I'm doing is because it I don't know if it
Oh
was
yeah.
because at one point it was because I didn't have any money. The second reason was because once I guess I have some, I'm too cheap to give it out to anybody else. So whenever I was every job that's came up, I'm just like, "Nah, I'm just gonna do it because I don't want to have to pay somebody to
I've
do
got some
this.
more
And even
stuff.
though but it's trial and error, that's how you learn anything. So the more you do a job, the more the better you're gonna get at it every time.
Have you guys saying, Joey, your voice is delayed from the video?
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
She was asking a
it
question.
happens.
She was talking about there's people on here from other countries. I'm like, yep.
Oh yeah.
We get people from Australia on
Jake
my
Ma
channel all the time.
yeah. Jake Mavis said I grew up in the finishing trade, so very thankful for the years and years in the area. Plus the wood shop and mill shop my old man owned repaired antique furniture. I'm probably furniture and made high-end woodworking. Yeah, for the most part, I don't do like that kind of woodworking finishing, but for the most part, everything I do in my like general contracting job. So essentially, I'm two things. I'm a general contractor where I go and do like right now, I'm doing that bathroom remodel in the doctor's office, and that's got plumbing, electrical, all that stuff in it. But I'm also a handyman where I just go out and do service calls for commercial and residential, whatever store up. It could be anything from an appliance to change out a ceiling fan or whatever it is. But in my general contracting business, I pretty much do interior finish work and then I sub out everything else. So like I'll sub out the plumbing work and the electrical work and all that. I do all the framing, drywall, floors, drop ceilings if it's a drop ceiling. I mostly do commercial work too. I don't do residential in my bigger job, but
Yeah.
so I kind of do two things.
All right,
Now
we
it's
got
changed my chat.
How's the
Oh, you can go ahead.
garage organization?
What's that?
Matt, how's the garage organization coming
Oh my
along?
gosh. My garage, that's a flipping mess, man. I backed the van up because I just got it wrapped. So I had to back the van up, take all the tools out, take it up there and drop it off for 3 days, and then go back and get it. And I still haven't put the tools back in the van. It's been a mess, man. But yeah, the garage organization is. I kind of, believe it or not, that wall right there kind of kickstarted the garage because that stuff was in the garage, and I brought it in here to set this up. So now I've got the wall opened up. I'm like, well, I might as well start working on this. I also have, I forget what company it Toso. It's TOSO. I think it's
Yeah.
the how you spell it. They just sent me a big um mini split for my garage, and I got to do
Yeah.
a video on that.
That's the one I put in my garage. That's the brand I put in my garage. I've also got
Yep.
one to put in my buddy's garage at some
Yeah,
point.
they sent me a link saying I could get 15% off if I wanted to buy it from them. Like, well,
Yeah.
I can go down here to Johnstone's in downtown and buy it for less. you know, just depends on the BTUs on it.
Dano69 said, Morgan, do you ever reach out to Olight for reviewing their new lights? I don't reach out to them. Every now and then they'll reach out to me. Olight's been one of those companies where they'll send me a light and then whoever it is that they've hired to be like the go-between person for Olight and me Like, I don't know if they go through a lot of turnover or what, but every time I've ever reached out for a new light, it's a different person saying, "I'm your new contact for Olight." But then occasionally, I think that something gets lost in the like, whenever they get rid of that person, like, it doesn't get connected, "Hey, you need to contact this person again." So I don't reach out to them. Every now and then they reach out to me.
What's the question?
Matt said, will the garage seal up enough to be AC?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got to put 3 more pieces of plywood on the back wall. The other reason why I wasn't like all gun ho about fixing the garage up is because the right side, the land comes down and it's above foundation. So whenever it rains, the water just runs into the garage. So I've got to also dig out around the foundation to get that away. It's just one thing after another. But yeah, once I get the plywood up on the right wall, it's not that big of a garage, so it'll be okay. I'm not going to put a ceiling in it. Of course, that's what I say today. Doesn't mean I'm not going to do it tomorrow. Like everything else around here, always working on something.
You're all caught up right now.
Actually,
Wow, he said Dano 69 EG4 has a mini split that can run directly on solar.
Yeah, that's. I don't know how long that would last. Though. I know it might work on solar, but I don't know how long it'll last. Because that compressor that'll burn up a battery quick. But this pretty big size mini split. I don't know what size did you get?
mine's a 12,000 BTU. The one that I just got from my buddy, I'm gonna put it in his garage. It's a 18,000. It's got a ERV that's on the side of it to bring fresh air in and get out there, air in your garage type thing.
Yep, that's exactly what I got. It's a big boy.
This one right here, this one's only the 12,000, and I'm probably heating and cooling 450 square feet or something like that. It may be a little bit more than that now. But because I this one isn't going, like, I've got it all shut off now to not get into my new area, and I don't run mine like constantly, like, so I just went over and turned it on right now because it's starting to get a little hot in here. Like in the winter time, I leave it set on like 50 or 45 just so stuff in here doesn't freeze. But then like 10 minutes before I'm gonna come out and film a video or something, I'll from my phone because you can have an app to do it. I just turn it up from my phone and let it start heating up in here. And it only takes like 10 minutes and it's normally like 10, 15 degrees difference than whatever it was. So it's pretty good, or has been. Captain said you can put a garage over your garage if you want to, Ray.
That's what's
No.
Everybody makes fun of me because I put a garage over my garage.
Yeah. I want to be like Morgan. I'll build a garage in my backyard. How's that? I thought about that though. I thought about getting a couple shipping containers and setting them up in the back, dig it out, and do a big, like 3 shipping containers. That'd be cool. Of course, I'd have to dig out the side of the freaking hill.
Yeah, that's the way mine right here. I had to dig out a bunch to do the add-on because my old building was already on a hill basically, and it was originally just a carport concrete slab with just a roof thing, and it needed to be replaced. So I really built a garage over a carport's what I did, but I made an old carport garage, so it made it be a garage over a garage.
I hate that delay.
It's really fun to watch.
Yeah, just don't stare at that one.
Yeah, no, you got a lot of people talking about
But But I have no idea why my voice and all that's delayed and all that. Again, there's no setting. Like, that's just like all I can see is what I'm filming, and we're live. So whatever it is, I don't know.
I have 3 monitors going at the same time. My cell phone, which is live, the computer behind it, which is probably a good 10-second delay, And then the tablet,
Yeah.
she's reading off the tablet, and I can't see that no more. But that's driving me nuts in the background.
You do have 2 questions.
I got 2 questions.
Matt said, Ray, maybe Beaver can send you a mini exactor for review. I guess it's more of a statement. And then Tyler Smith said, what do you guys think is the most versatile power tool / saw that can do many things? Oscillating tool, question mark?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the oscillating tool is always going to be the best because you can put a knife blade on there for cutting carpet. You know, you can cut wood, you can cut. Yeah, I use mine for regrouting the bathtubs because at work we have ceramic tile around the bathtub. So yeah, the multi tool is always going to be the best. You know.
Yeah,
What was the other
that's just like
question?
today. We had the
multi exactor.
What'd you say?
Today we had the multi. I had a multi tool out doing the demo, just cutting the drywall out in big sections because I got to get it out so I can get to the plumbing, and so my plumber can reroute some stuff, and then also put a big walk-in shower thing in. And
Have you
I
ever
had the
used
oscillating tool out already. I had to cut some 2x4 studs, and it's like I would have rather probably had a sawzall, but it's like it's already in my hand. Again, had no problem cutting 2x4 studs, but the precision that you can get with the oscillating tool is like what makes it so. And it's like you can get it in so many places, like you said, so many different blades, so many different options.
Right.
You can turn the blade. You can turn the blade at a 90-degree angle and get in some spots that you can't get with a sawzall. So it's definitely the most versatile, in my opinion.
I will tell you about a new tool that I just bought. I was going to do a video on it, but I get busy. But anyways, it's a Makita drywall cutter. Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
It's that little bitty blade on there.
Yeah, Milwaukee's actually got a sawzall blade, and I bought it, and I didn't really care for it, but it's different than in that Makita saw. So it's kind of like the same idea. Milwaukee's got a little blade that's real short you can put in your sawzall to make sure you don't go too far into the wall, basically.
Right. Well, this
But it's
is
still
even
different.
neater.
It's still different using that because like that saw you've got's kind of like a jigsaw type shape of deal. Like so, I think that using it in a saw like that where your hand's more comfortable that way and all that instead of like a sawzall trying to maneuver it just was a little bit weird because you're so used to with a sawzall kind of cutting at an angle. Whenever you're doing that, it's hard for you to say, I'm going to stick it straight in now and try to hold it like this and go down the wall. So I've seen that saw a lot. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen people use it.
Yeah, I've cut drywall for years. And I mean, I even had the little plunge cutters, you know, and to cut around outlets and stuff like that. And I hate it. I always hate those because they blow dust back on you. Well, I cut hundreds of feet of drywall a week, you know, and that tool has been a lifesaver because how quick it is and it doesn't blow dust or nothing like that. It's really a cool tool. I mean, it's only Makita I have, but it's worth the money.
Has it got a port to hook up dust extraction to it too if you want to?
Yep. It's got the shield on the end, and if I'm just cutting an 8-foot strip in a wall, I don't have to have the shot back hooked up to it. It'll hold all the drywall right there. So it's pretty cool tool. Considering how much drywall I cut every week.
Yeah.
My drywall's not half inch either.
Matt said he uses an oscillating tool for drywall and then wears a DeWalt vac on his belt. Yeah, I normally will I normally one hand my oscillating tool and then use a shop vac right next to it and kind of follow it type of thing. In a normal situation. Now, if there's some place where like it's crazy that I can't have any dust whatsoever, then I'll hook up like something to an actual shop vac type of thing.
Right. I just bought a new shop vac because my Milwaukee was just killing me. It was so flipping loud, you know, the battery one, and I'd burn up a battery just doing little jobs. But I just bought the DeWalt, the Whisper Quiet, and I was just completely shocked how quiet that thing is. While it's running, you can have a conversation, normal voice. You know, it's that quiet. I have to do video on that.
Tom said he fell in love with the Hercules vacuum, loves that thing. So that's a Harbor Freight vacuum. I haven't bought any of the power tools like at Harbor Freight, any kind of battery tool, but a lot of people act like they like the Hercules. I've even heard some people say they like the Bauer. I don't know how you say it, but
I have a
I
Bauer
do.
10-inch miter saw, or no, it's a
Yeah,
7.5 miter saw. I love that thing because I do a lot of trim work. I love it. It's cheap.
yeah,
I even got a portable, stand for it and everything. It was really. I think I only paid like $300 for everything.
yeah. I bought a Bauer SDS Max Drill. I think that's the only Harbor Freight like power. I might have bought a grinder at one time because I think I did go buy. I don't have it anymore, but I think I went and bought a grinder just because I knew I was whatever it was I was doing with it. I can't remember what it was. It's been years ago, and I knew it was just going to wreck it. Like this is not going to be good for it, and I'm going to be doing
Right,
it like just
right.
hammering and something with it. So sometimes I'll go buy a tool at Harbor Freight just for that reason. Like I'm planning on if it makes it through this job, great, and if
Right,
not, I'm just going
right.
to be throwing it away or something anyways. But I don't want to. I don't want to use one of my other tools for that job and just kill it. Whenever it's not really what it's really intended for necessarily or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools at Harbor Freight that I won't buy, but if it's an oddball tool, something that I might use twice a year, I will run straight to Harbor Freight and buy it. But one thing I do not buy at Harbor Freight is any kind of a cutoff saw or wheels because I've had them things just disintegrate, for cutting something small and just come apart on me. So I stay away from them cheap blades.
Clint asked, "What is the SDS Max I got?" Actually, I think it's over here pretty close. Let me see. I think I got it tucked in behind my. I could be wrong. If it's not here, I won't be able to show you. But no, it's not either. What did I do with that?
Um,
It's the. What did I do with that? Boom, 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 boom.
It's got a dust buster.
Yeah, I got a dust buster.
I thought I tucked it over here, but that's my air snake.
Talking about
I don't know. It's the.
pop guns and everything.
I don't know if Bauer's got more. Mine's a corded one. It's not a like a. It's not a battery powered one. It's whatever the corded version is. I don't know if they got multiple ones. I was between that and the Hercules because I think the Hercules are brushless, the Bauer's not, and corded tools anyways. And but the Hercules was going to be like $150 more, and I was only really buying it to beat the crap out of it for the job I was going to use it for. I want to eventually get a cordless. Like I want to get an 18-volt Milwaukee one eventually, but I have to find the right job to make me want to buy it.
Matt wants to know what bag lately you're running.
I'm not running. Well, I put my Vito bag away because I'm at the building and I've been using my pack out. I did that video about organizing the pack outs. That's kind of my go-to, but with this whole transition going from work to going out and working on someone else's house, I did get my small bag. I think it's right behind right there, I think it's right behind you, right on your left shoulder. Turn around, Morgan. That bag that's right behind you. What is that?
Me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I thought you was I thought you were telling the other person
No.
in the room with you to get one of your bags.
Yeah, that
Oh,
bag
this
right
is the
there.
SP. This one's a SPMC.
Yep, that's the one I've been using here the last 2 weeks. I just put my basic hand tools in and been
Yeah.
using that to run back and forth to side jobs for the most part.
Captain wants to know what blades for saws / bits, etc. do you use or recommend?
I've been using the demon blades. I got those on Amazon too. I don't buy them at Lowe's, but yeah, for the most part, they're one of the sharpest. My Milwaukee blades for like the Sawzall, I threw them in the trash. They won't cut anything. And I'm
I was
not joking around. I'm talking about drywall. Of course, my
Yeah.
drywall is 1 inch thick and it's been there since 1960. So it's all hard. But yeah, my diamond blade or my diamond sawzall blades, it'll cut through anything.
I was going to tell Matt I did try a nitrous Diablo. Was it called the nitrous or something like that? The oscillating tool blade. I
Yeah,
ran one the last 2 days. So
yeah,
I finally have tried one. It was my buddy's, and he's been
yeah.
putting in the oscillating tool, but I've been using it, and it's like for 2 days. For 2 days, I've cut cement board, I've cut screws, I've cut
Right.
2x4 studs, I've cut drywall, I've cut nails with it, and it's still going strong. 2 days in,
Yeah, those are good blades. That brand is really
but
good.
they're like
They
20 bucks a
beat.
piece.
Yeah, pay for what you get.
Normal price. If you don't get them on sale, they're about 20 bucks a piece. Now you can find them. I think my buddy said he got his on Black Friday or something like that.
Matt wants to know if you checked for asbestos.
No, I live in it. I run around in it. I drink it. Yeah, I opened up a wall there my first month at this new place, and because we had a water line that had to be cut out and replaced, and it's original 1960 brass tubing. And when you look at it, you think it's half inch, but it's not. So you have to cut it, unscrew it from the next fitting, and then screw in a half inch. Believe it or not, a half-inch copper will screw in. It's weird, but yeah, they're it's all cased in asbestos. Just don't
Yeah,
cut it.
the place I work, the place that I work for, and I'm doing some work out there right now. But the place I worked for 20 years, it was a children's home, and I think it was the original building was over 100 years old, but they're over 100 years old. But that old building, like everything you touched, it had it.
Yeah,
It didn't matter whether if it was the old boiler piping, if it was
right,
the
right,
old ceiling tiles that were on, like they were stapled to the ceiling, almost like a cardboard type material. And then
right,
all a telltale sign on your VCT flooring is if it's 8x8, pretty good
right,
chance it's got asbestos in it. And then the black glue underneath of that, pretty good chance it's got asbestos in it. Like there wasn't anything I touched there that didn't have it.
right. Well, the good thing about it is, you know, in a building like such where I work at, it's enclosed in the wall. So it can stay there as long as you don't disturb it. But like down in the
Yeah.
boiler rooms, they've gutted that. There's no asbestos down there because that's a massive open space. But yeah, anywheres where it's the piping is exposed, they've rewrapped them. So just so you know,
They're
I'm
they're
not
all
I'm
blaming
not
me
walking
not hearing
around.
you about the bag.
Yeah,
They're all blaming because I'm on Little Debbie withdrawals. The reason why I wasn't listening. I thought you were talking about. I thought you were saying you were carrying a bag and you were pointing at one behind the other lady that's there with y'all.
yeah,
So I didn't even know you was talking to me the whole time.
it's funny, ain't it?
Let's see, Joey, did you get some drill bits for the metal hole? So yeah, I bought some of the spider drill bits, or actually my buddy picked them up. I guess we're gonna. I think I'm gonna be working at the doctor's office tomorrow, not the windows though. We bought some of the spider drill bits, bought some of that spider mock blue. Is that what it's called? To oil your bits or whatever. We're gonna try that. Also, I went to a lumber yard that I buy a lot of stuff at today. Was having one of those kind of like they bring all the vendors in, they give you free lunch, food truck sitting out there and they talk to you. And the Diablo guy was there. So we stopped over and was talking to him and he was showing us their new drill bits. And so we got some of those to try out too. So we're gonna try some spider bits and some Diablo bits and see if that helps out.
Those
We're
Diablo
drilling
bits,
metal
man, are
hose,
pretty good.
Ray. Yeah, we're
What's
drilling
that?
through a half inch. It's probably more like 3/8, 3/8 plate, and then it's hooked into a half inch, I think, I beam. It's welded to it, and I got to go through both of those, and it's over my head. I was texting some of them about it, that's why they know about it. But over your head. And I mean, it's just killing you like that
Oh
many
yeah.
holes. So I was trying to find the best drill bit I can possibly get. I've been burning through them like crazy.
You get you a magnet drill press.
I know it.
Go
That's what
to
Matt said.
Harbor
Just get
Freight,
the
man.
mag drill. You know who's got a mag drill? Beaver. And they've asked me a bunch of times to send me one, and I've been like,
Do it.
no, thanks. I wouldn't see myself ever I wouldn't see myself ever using one. And now I'm like, man, I wish I had one of them magnet drills.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You could get a hold of them and have them ship it to you,
Yeah.
and they go do the job, and then like I've done that a couple of times. Hey, send me a tool, man, and then get it and do it, and then do a little video on it. That way you don't have to pay
Yeah.
for the tool.
Chris
Lexi said the best is when
most dreaded repair you do and do not like doing.
What dreaded repair do I do not like doing? Freaking drywall.
Yeah.
Freaking. Okay, so where I work at, because it's a high rise, so my building flexes. It moves. You don't see it move, but when it gets dry in the wintertime, the building kind of gets real chalky, right? So the building will move and it cracks the drywall. Well, the drywall is an inch thick. So for years and years, people have been going in and just adding another layer of mud over that, and then it cracks again. So what I've been doing is going in and putting expansion joints in where the cracks are.
That's what I was getting ready to ask you if y'all put expansion joints in.
Yeah, they weren't doing that before I got there. You know how that works.
Yeah, see, most of the time around in commercial settings, like they make us put them in the commercial stuff. Like whenever if it's a extremely long wall or tall wall.
Well, I've got
they
some
pretty well make
apartments
us
that
in
have
my
two
area.
cracks in the same freaking wall. It's ridiculous. But like I said, it's bad old repairs. You can see them when you walk in the room. There's a big bubble in the wall. So I got to cut that out and put. It's a mess. But job security,
My least favorite thing is anything in a crawl space, and that's mainly because like the crawl spaces in my area are generally really crawl spaces. They're not, hey, go under there and you like slow knee around. Or I mean, it's literally you're crawling to wherever. And the biggest thing, it's not the crawling in it. It's not the doing the work that I don't like. It's the getting the stuff to where you're working is what I hate about it. Like getting, whether it's your tools, and the tools aren't even usually as bad as getting the materials where it is. That's usually what ends up stinking for me is getting the materials, like especially if it's sections of pipe or whatever it is, crawling from one end, and it never fails. The work is never right there by the crawl space opening. It's all the way on the other side of wherever the crawl space opening is in the house. So you got to go the whole entire way, and it just sucks.
Glad to see you on there, Chris. Appreciate you swinging by. I was looking to see if what's the other guy? HVAC. Forget what his ad is or his name is.
Oh, Curtis HVAC guy.
I can't remember.
Curtis stops in every now and then.
Yeah.
I saw somebody up here earlier that said they were from South Wales or something like that, or did I miss that one? I don't remember. It swapped my chat on me. My chat was off to the side where I could see all of it. And now it's kind of moved it down here to the bottom. I don't know why it did that. Whenever I swapped the camera around. Todd asked, did I get the Craig 720? No, I kept going back and forth, and I didn't see a way in the picture. So hopefully maybe one of you guys can let me know if that's the case. That way, if I see it on sale again, I will buy it. But I don't like somebody at Tinker with Tools told me that the wings on it weren't any good, and I probably wouldn't want them anyways. But so I've got the K4, but all of them, let's see if I got this in the picture. Yeah, all of them are set up to where, like, if you just use this by itself, you don't have a place to put your board that's a little bit wide and it sits there and teeter totters. I couldn't see anywhere on that 720 for you to like here, I can just run screws through this and mount it to a board. The 720, they make the wings that flap out and basically do this right here. But everybody said that they didn't attach very well. So you guys can let me know if you've got the 720. Is there a way to basically mount it into something like this? I didn't see that I could, so that's what kept me from pulling the trigger on it. It looked like it was just something that you just set somewhere, or you clamp it to a table, or do something like that. And I don't like the fact that if all I had was it, and it makes your boards teeter totter back and forth.
400 piece of materials together, like 2 boards. Fancy caliber. You can clamp it on there, and it drills it on the inside at a funky angle. So then when you put your clamp on, run the screw in, it pinches it, so the screw doesn't fall, and you can't see the screw. It's really good. Yep.
Chat is talking about how they always regret not putting a mask on after they do all the work and they realize there's a
Yeah, that sucks, don't it?
Supposed to find out.
Yeah. That'd come back and bite. Anytime that I'm working with any kind of small particles, if it's drywall, if it's going to be exposed, or paints, or concretes, anytime I'm going to be working where there's fine dust, I will always wear an air mask. Always. But yeah,
I never do. That's because I'm a man.
Shut up. Yeah, you be a man,
No,
all right.
I'm horrible with safety stuff. Like I'm horrible with it. I'll be paying for it. I won't be able to hear. Here in about 15 years, I won't be able to hear. I won't be able to breathe. Probably won't be able to move, but that's all right. I'll be all right as long as I don't live much past that. I'll be okay, I guess.
Gotta learn to work smarter, not harder.
That's just long.
Asbestos lungs.
No day.
What is that called? Asbestos.
Mesothelioma.
Yeah, there you go. I had a part of it in my mouth.
Yeah. Two punch stabby stab says real men don't concern themselves with masks. I have been on such a rabbit hole of finding that guy on Instagram. Because of course I just got on Instagram. I haven't been on there for very long, but there's the guy who every single one of his things is real men don't concern themselves with, and it's a bunch of stuff. Have you seen any of them, Ray? They're hilarious.
Yeah.
They're funny. Like I crack up. Real men don't concern themselves with inspections or something like that, and then just all kinds of stuff. Oh, there's my Bauer SDS Max. I see the case for it now. For some reason, I thought it was a red case. It's a black case. I see it over there. I think it's the only one they got, though, that's corded. Lexi said she had a dead mouse fall on top of her hat once. I was in a hotel, and the ceiling tiles were tight as heck. So gross. I've tons of dead mice. I've got a picture of me. I need to get it out one time of me because I don't live in New York City or anything like that. I mean, I live in Kentucky, so we don't have rats like what you see on TV, that kind of stuff that would be in New York and all those big cities and stuff like that. But I've got one that I'm holding it by its tail. It's dead, and it's hanging down at least this far. It's the biggest one I've ever seen in my life. Like that, I was like, I got to get a picture of this. And it was, I ended up catching it in the basement of that children's home is where I ended up catching it. But it didn't fall on me or anything, but I did catch it. And I was like, man, that is the biggest. I guess I would actually call that a rat and not a mouse. Like everything else I've ever seen in my life, I would say is a mouse, not a rat. But that thing was huge.
And small possum. That's what I thought he said. Matt's always on here. Matt lives on this channel apparently. I see maybe what's what popped up on mine.
What's up, Abraham? Rats, you mean small possums? I have pulled out I was working in my back building whenever we first moved here, cleaning it out so I could because originally I used that to kind of store my tools before I redid all this. And I was just cleaning out stuff up in the top like crazy, pulling stuff down, grabbed something. It was a snake skin that was like super long. And didn't even dawn on me. I just kept moving stuff, and I got to thinking, well, if that snake skin's up there, maybe there's like that thing could be up there because it was a super long snake skin, which I think I did end up killing that snake like later that year because I found it coming out of the building. And it was just a black snake, but it was really big. Like if I'd have grabbed that and pulled it down on me, I would have freaked out because I don't care for snakes. Like I don't like messing with snakes. They don't scare me in the sense like I'm gonna take off running from them, but I definitely don't want to be like next to one of them. Like I don't like them, type of thing.
Matt said that he watched your videos from the start and won your third giveaway.
Really?
Mhm.
How about that? I knew Matt from somewhere.
Yeah, there's very few times. Like again, I don't comment very often, but if I go watch somebody else's video,
Right.
and then I go to comment, he's already in there.
Yeah. He needs. We need to get him a job, man. I got a job opening, Matt. You want to come work? I'm just messing, dude. Yeah, it's.
Captain.
I used to do all kinds of stuff when I was up north. I used to do tool giveaways and stickers and shirts and all kinds of stuff, man. But it just got busy, man. Don't do it like you used to.
Captain Donnet said he does a bunch of service work for McDonald's, and he can't tell you how many rats he gets out of the ceiling.
I bet.
He said it's crazy. Yeah, I've got a plumber friend. He's actually the one doing the plumbing in this bathroom that I'm working on. He's pretty much the only plumber I hire, but he starts telling me about restaurants and stuff, and then like he'll start talking about one that I like to go to, and I'm like, no, just shut up. I don't even want to know. Just don't tell me.
Shut
Just
up.
don't say it because as long as I don't know, I love it there. Like, but don't tell me anything. I don't want to know about it.
Matt wants you to know he has a job.
I bet you better have a job.
He's very busy.
What kind of work do you do, Matt? I think we had this conversation once before. It'll take like 2 minutes for it to pop up. Stickers. Do you want a sticker, Matt?
He ordered sticker magnets from you 4 times. Got a lot of them.
I got a bunch of them right on the wall.
Oh.
I ain't got too many of them left. Yeah, so this whole starting my company up, it's been a passion for me to do it. I just had to get where I needed to be in life to where I was ready to focus on it because I didn't want to do it, off the cuff or just a little here or a little, I wanted to be legit right off the bat. So, I know I've talked to most of my subscribers about, going to work for yourself and being your own boss and stuff like that. But, you have to be dedicated to it when you get started. It's a process for me.
Like for me, if my wife wasn't working and had the insurance, it'd be a lot more stress. I could still do
Okay.
it. I just have to make a lot more money, to be able to pay. I'd have to be more like actually attacking out there to get and working 60 hours a week or whatever, and I don't want to do that. Like I would have just as soon kept working for somebody else than to have that stress on me type of thing.
Right.
And that makes a big difference, that's what I made a video, like, I think it was my first year of being self-employed, the things I learned and all that kind of stuff. And it's like in the place where I'm at right now in my life, this is what I need to be doing. But in my younger days, I don't know that I'd have been able to. Like I would have been too stressed, and it would have caused me a lot of, whenever I had my kids were at home and all that kind of stuff like that, and I'd have to worry about all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
everybody, like, self-employment's great for some people, and then the going and working for somebody's great for some people. So you can't ever watch one person's story and make a decision on what's good for you about it because it's like where you live at makes a big role in it. Like, is there a big need for you to be like, is there enough work for you to be able to do it, or is the market kind of like saturated with a bunch of people that do the same thing you do, all that kind of stuff like that. So It's just like what I say about tools on this channel. Like one person who says a tool is garbage, like that same exact tool for somebody else is indispensable because they
Right.
do something different, you know. And it's
Right.
you can't ever just say one way is the way to do anything. That's just not how it is. It's like every situation is a little bit different.
James said, "Do you guys have hours set up, or are you on call?"
Well, with me, because I'm the supervisor and I have two guys under me, I'm not on call anymore. And then my company, my hours of operation is 5 to 9 p.m. So it's not really an on-call thing, but if someone was to call me and say, "Hey, I got a water leak in my house," and it's 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, yeah, I'm gonna go out. But being on call for the company, no, I'm not on call for it. But I do
Yeah,
take
it's kind
after
of the
hour
same for
calls.
me.
Yeah.
I have I have no set hours. I just work whatever I want to. Like now
Well,
sometimes I have to. I don't sometimes I have to work at times when I may not want to because I have to finish the job on a timeline. So all my time is dictated off my schedule of the jobs that I have and when I've got to get them done by. But I've got
right,
the flexibility to, hey, I'm ahead of schedule here on this job. So if I want to work till 1 o'clock today and go home and cut my grass, I can do that. Or if I'm behind, well, I'm gonna have to work later today. And I'm the same way with you. I don't have any kind of on call thing. Of course, I'm my own bit. I
right,
just work for myself. It's just me. But if I have any customer call me at any
right,
time because they need something and it's an actual emergency or something, I'd go do it. Especially if it's a customer who I do a lot of work for, type of thing.
right. Well, with the HVAC that I do plus the plumbing, I'm expecting to get a call, in the afternoons. Hey, man, can you come out? Yeah, sure. But the drawback to that is anything after 5, you're double paying me. I'm not going out there for free
Hmm.
because you can't get anyone else that come out there for free. So the diagnosis fee jumps double price. So if it's an emergency, if they can wait till the next day, then I'll just charge them regular fee for that. But if they want it
Yeah.
today, yeah, well, double price. Of course, I'm still
Well,
cheaper
and
than
you
an
end up,
HVAC company or a plumber. So
yeah, yeah. And you end up training your customers over time to it's whenever you do stuff. It's
right,
to because you do train your customers to how to use you because like if you're expensive, they're not gonna call you anymore unless it's a real emergency. Like,
right,
they're gonna be like, "I'll wait till tomorrow, and I'm gonna call you tomorrow." Or same thing with, like, I have multiple customers who, again, I've got a minimum for me to come to your house, it's this much for an hour, whatever it is. No matter what, they'll come if they've got something that is a 5-minute job of changing out a light fixture or something like that, they're not gonna call me and ask me to just come do that. They're actually gonna wait until they get or they'll actually go around their house sometimes and even look for more stuff
yeah,
so they can say, "I've got a few things now that I think I can have you come out here," because they know if they're gonna get me for an hour, they wanna have enough work for me to do for that hour type of thing. So I've trained them not to just call me about nitpicky stuff, and then also, it better be an emergency if you're gonna call me at, 7 o'clock at night and ask me to come to your house to fix something. It better
right.
you're gonna you're gonna pay me and learn that if
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't an emergency,
oh
you're
yeah,
gonna wish that you'd have waited.
yeah. Well, that diagnostic fee has to be paid when I show up, not when I'm done. So that's the
Yeah.
other. You got to pay me when I show up. So yeah, it that'll also tone down the it's an emergency. Because when you got to pay that up front, you know, I'm a little distracted because she decided to sit down on the floor with Stella, and I'm like, well, that was a mistake.
Yeah. um, right now they are just talking about how self-employment is a lifestyle, not a job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think a lot of times people like I don't know what the right word is. Again, I'm not a vocabulary expert, but romanticize it, or I don't know what the right word for it is. But you know, I think a lot of people think, "Oh, well, I can just be my own boss," is the main thing. That's really what you're wanting to be,
Yeah.
and you think that's gonna be awesome, and it certainly is at times, but then at the
Yeah.
same time, you're the one who's responsible for
Yeah.
everything, like,
Yeah.
and you have to be, now if you're 100% by yourself like I am, I'm my own accountant, I'm my own
Yep.
secretary, I'm my own, like, everything. I'm the person who goes out and bids the work, I'm the person who goes out and finds the work, I'm the person who
Yep.
does the work. So, like, there's less time of me physically working, which is what I'm looking for at the age I'm at right now. I want less time
Right.
of me physically working,
Right.
drywalling and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not getting really paid unless I'm doing that physical work, but I'm also not paying somebody else to do all that other stuff. So in a sense, I'm paying myself to be an accountant. I'm
Right.
charging enough whenever I'm doing physical labor to pay
Right.
me to be my accountant, to pay me to be, all those other things. So while
Right.
I'm doing that, I am getting paid in a sense, even though I'm not. So, but it's I think some people sometimes think I'm just once I'm in charge, I can do whatever I want to, and it's like you still have,
Well, it's
people
the
who
younger
you just have
it's the younger
customers.
people.
You just have customers now instead of supervisors.
Yeah. Well, it's the younger people, the people that you know they have the big notion or the big ideal that working for yourself, I can do what I want to do. You know, it sounds good, but the problem is you got to pay the bills. So
Yeah.
you gotta kind of do what you got to do to make the bills
And
happen.
and that being said, I've been doing it for, like, I guess since 2022, I think is whenever I went out on my own. And
Yeah.
as of right now, like, I wouldn't change anything. Like, I don't even think I could go back and work for somebody else now. But again,
Right.
that's because the position I'm at in my life right now. My kids are out of the house. I'm older. I've I'm my I don't have a lot of debt or anything like that. It's just I'm in a different place in my life right now than what I
Right.
was, 10, 15 years ago, where I would have rather had I know exactly how much money I want to have coming in every week, that kind of thing over and over again. I got insurance, I've got all that kind of stuff without having to think about it. So again, I think it's great if it works for you, but it's not what some people bring it off to be, like it's just the best thing ever. But I mean, if you can do it and it works with your lifestyle, I do have a lot more freedom right now than I've ever had in my whole entire life.
Right.
As far as, again, I can get done with my job at 2 o'clock today, and I don't have to be like, oh, I got to stay here till 5:30, and just,
Right.
I got to go find something else to do. I can go home. I can cut the grass. I can come home. I can, tinker around in my garage. I can do it.
Right.
I can go to the store before, all kinds of things that just frees
Right.
up your time. I'm not,
Right.
like, bound to a clock per se. It's more so
Right.
I've got more freedom to be free with my clock than somebody who has to clock in and out every single day at a certain time.
Well, unfortunately, I get both sides of the spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the good thing about it because I have a full time job, which pays my bills, but then the income from my business, which is funny, is double what I make at my job.
Oh, yeah.
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 But
But
I hold
it's
that.
because, like I said, like, so let's say I work for a company,
Right.
and they charge $125 an hour for me to come out and work for you. But that's because they're also paying the accountant back
Right.
at the office, they're paying
Right.
the secretaries doing the phone call, they're paying for the truck that's out there, they're
Right.
paying for insurance. So you're definitely not gonna make the same per hour because they're giving you a lot of other things that are benefits in there that equals out to some of that money. But whenever you work for yourself, you can still go charge $100 an hour, and you're making all of it because you are also the secretary, you're buying your own truck, you're buying the tools and all that kind of stuff like that. So you definitely will make more per hour than what you will working for somebody else, but you also sometimes are out a lot more money to buy those things that company's provided for you. I still think you come out ahead. I think the most lucrative form is to be self-employed,
You know,
especially like if you're an electrician or a plumber or something like that and you're working for a company, you can charge it's crazy how much, I mean, you probably know how much your company charges for you per hour. and they don't pay you anywhere near that type of thing. So
Right.
you can just say, hey, if I go out on my own, I'm gonna make this per hour. That whatever it is they're charging, I can make that because people are willing to pay that. That's what you're looking for.
Right.
But again, it just comes with you now have to take on the responsibilities of whatever the other people at your company were doing for you.
Yeah, kind of like that
Mhm.
toilet paper factory out west that burned down. You should have paid me more.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If you figure in your unemployment, your health insurance, your wages, and all the expenses going to keep that building going, people don't hourly people don't understand all the expense behind having a building with employees.
Hmm.
They only think of I'm only making $12 an hour. You know, and I always say, if you can't live on $12 an hour, either learn a trade or go find another job because there's 1,000 jobs out there. But I I just I can't get over how that guy burnt that freaking toilet paper building down. Did you see that on the news?
I caught little glimpses of it, but I think I saw just thumbnails and stuff, and then I got the gist of it based on the titles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what makes me mad is that somebody was mad about that and then burned down a building to where now a lot of people don't have a job. Like you,
Yep.
just because you weren't happy, now you've made a
Yep.
lot of people not have a job who maybe they might have been perfectly fine and actually were okay with whatever it was.
Yep.
That's the same thing I always feel about people that they like end up cheating on their spouses or doing whatever else. Of course, Amanda watches all these killers, people, husbands kill their wives shows. That's all
Oh
my
my
wife
god.
watches. I'm gonna end up
That's
dead
scary.
one day. She knows how to do it. Like she's seen enough ways to go about it. But every time I see that, I'm just like, why didn't you just leave them? Like, I mean, did you have to kill them? I mean,
Yeah.
which sometimes it's for life insurance money or whatever else. But it's the same thing with that. It's like, why didn't you just leave and go get another different job? It's like,
Yeah.
man, why'd you have
It's
to
a
burn it
mindset.
down?
Yeah.
Tom's on call 24/7, 365, but I don't get many call outs. It's usually a fire alarm that they can't get to shut down. Let's see.
Yeah. The problem I got is coming up next week is we just picked up another building downtown. And I have to take one of my guys over Monday and train him how to take care of that building. And then Tuesday, I got to take the other guy over and do the same stuff with him so that they both get trained on how to take care of the building. So then that's going to end up putting that building in the rotation for on call. So most likely next week, I'll have to go back on call, which it pays stupid money. I get paid 4 hours double time just for being on call. Like that's just crazy freaking money, man. But we'll see how that all pans out.
Captain Donnet said, wouldn't Amanda be good with money and just selling Joey's tools? So if she murdered me, that would be the incentive. It's not the life insurance she's going to collect. She's going to sell my tools. But I'll make that joke that I hope my wife doesn't sell my tools for what I told her bought them for.
Yeah. Well, she's got the maintenance YouTube, so she'll just go on there and start bidding your stuff off.
Yeah.
Live stream, having a fire sale. Because she knows how to do that, so you better watch it, man. Start putting your tools up for sale.
Some way said a ways back, I worked for a couple of handyman companies. They would charge 70 to 80 and then pay 20 to 25 for your own vehicles, tools, and gas. That's theft. Yeah, see, they should. To me, if you have to provide your own tools and truck and all that kind of stuff, that should be added into because that's something again, there should be a figure that they're charging, and then you should obviously get all of it, which is what most people think. It's like, hey, I should get all this money. It's like the company, it's like they're buying your truck and your tools and, making sure that going out and finding you work and paying you, having somebody keep up with all your tax information and all that kind of stuff. It's like I mean, that's something that you're not having to do. So they obviously have to pay them something. But if
Oh, yeah. What do you think?
any of that where you're
Just
having to
real
fulfill
quick.
that role
Oh, so
yourself, you
director to
shouldn't make the
weekend?
same as somebody else who isn't fulfilling those things.
As far as making videos, I have a whole collection of them on my computer. It's when you work 40 hours at a job plus you doing another 20, 30 hours a week starting your own company and getting clientele and stuff, and especially right now doing freaking taxes. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Getting all
yeah,
that I just haven't had time to things have not settled down enough for me to take the time to sit down and make a video. But I have some really good ones coming in. I got one where I tore the boiler system apart at work and had to run all new 2-inch copper pro press lines. I mean that was cool. It's a shorty, but it was a cool video. I just haven't got around to. I'm hoping in the next week. Next week I should be able to start putting up some videos.
Mhm.
Matt called you a tease.
It's funny, man. You're funny. I promise. I swear. I promise. The other thing is on like man, we were talking last night about making money on YouTube. It's just people think you're making a bunch of money, and yeah, I ain't making
Yeah,
crap. I mean, back when I was in up north and I was doing a video every freaking day, I was working between 4 and 6 hours a day just to build a video. And I did that for 2.5 years. And my best week was May, or my best month, I was maybe making a couple $100. So the time it
yeah,
takes to make the videos, you don't make any money, you know. So that
yeah.
kind of also knocked them.
Yeah, especially if they're like don't get very many views and stuff like and
Right,
the work
right,
videos the work videos typically don't like that because it's a
right.
certain group of people. Like more people watch tool review videos than they watch, for
Yep,
me anyways, on my channel
yep.
than they
I got
watch me work
I got
videos.
more videos. I got more viewage off of that putting that pack out together in the garage than I have the last 4 videos I put up. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. So the reason why I put this together behind me is because I have a bunch of these pack outs, and I bought the foam inserts to do tool installs on some tools that they don't make the inserts for. So I'm gonna start doing some little um, maybe do live stream videos or just do a video like kind of like what you do with tool reviews, except it's
Yeah,
putting a pack out together. Just something to be doing, I guess.
James Ridley just gave you 199.
That's for him, not me.
Okay, just kidding.
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Appreciate that, James. Don't worry,
Got
Ray.
your
I'll send you a nickel.
There's your $5. I remember when I was doing up in Bandaya or up north, I was doing that live stream, and that guy came on and gave me $500, and that's how I got my new computer. I couldn't believe he did that,
Yeah,
man. It was super nice. Every once in a while, you get somebody to pop up and give you a little surprise. It's greatly appreciated. It always is. I used to watch what was that guy? Hotel maintenance out of New York.
yeah. Man, what was it? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's like, uh,
That's funny. Anyways, man, I
starts
used to.
is it like Zumo or something like that? It starts
Yeah,
with a Z.
Zuma vlog. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I used to watch him all the time, and I ended up helping this channel out a couple times, and I sent him a bunch of stuff because I really liked him. He's a super nice guy, and I wanted to see his channel grow. And just don't know why he just blip went off the radar for about four
yeah. He
months.
he did start. I think he just started posting again, like, because
Yeah.
he was. I just so happened to catch it. I think it was while we were on vacation. I was looking through
Yeah.
some YouTube and I saw, and I'm pretty sure it was a newer video. I don't think it was an older one that just popped up, but
Yeah.
they were redoing their little workspace in there. Of course, they got like a very
Right.
small room, but he had a couple flags that he put up, and he had bought some shelves and was organizing some stuff like that. I remember seeing, but yeah, I watched several of his videos.
Right. He's a nice
See you,
guy.
James. Yeah. Breaking Free said I like watching Stud Pack. Yeah, I watch Stud Pack and Perkins Builder Brother. I watch theirs
Yeah.
every time the one comes out. I like it, and it's more so like they do the same thing. I mean, they're building a house all the time. You start getting used to the people, and it's like you're just watching to see what's going on with them more than it is what it is they're doing. Of course, I met Paul whenever, not this time, whenever I was at Climb, but Paul was at with Stud Pack was at Climb the last time I went down there, and like was able to meet him, and I met him at that IBS show that I was just at too. He was there too, so he's a really nice guy.
Did you like going out there to the Klein factory?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. This last time, whenever I went, it was me and Clint from the Tool Review Zone. You don't know if you watch the Real Nice
Yeah.
Like guy. He's like, it's real nice
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
It was just me and him. Yeah, he's super funny in real life. Like I was kind of expecting one thing whenever I was going to meet him because like of course he's got like almost 500,000 subscribers or something like that. I mean, he's been doing it for a long
Right.
time. But I mean, man, he was hilarious. Like in real down to earth, just funny to be around. Like the whole that was a really good time. Like I like being around him. He's pretty funny. And then, so it was just me and him this last time. So we kind of went on a tour of the factory again, and he wasn't there the first time, so he hadn't seen it. So I'd already seen quite a bit of it whenever, but I did get to see some new areas that I didn't get to see last time. It's just neat to watch people make the tools that you use every single, day. It's kind of cool to be able to
Yep.
see that process and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like Klein tools, man. They got some quality tools, and
Yeah.
I got kind of irritated a little bit ago with my Milwaukee's, and I almost decided to go with the mod boxes from my band because I bought that new big drawer roll around, and I had to raise the shelves in my van to get it in there, and
Yeah.
because of
It's
that, now I
tall.
can't. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can't get the ammo boxes in the top shelves. That just
Yeah.
bites.
That's why I've got the pack out rolling box over here, and that's why it's in here, not in my truck, is because whenever I put it in of course, I've got deck drawers and some other stuff that takes
Right,
out some headroom of mine, but I can't fit other boxes on top of it inside of my truck that how it is
right,
versus a
right.
regular one I can.
Well, I can get it in the van, that's for sure. It's just the other two shelves are I'm limited to two pack outs. Well, it's two, four, six, eight pack outs per shelf. But I can't put any of the ammo boxes on top anymore. So that kind of bites. I mean, I love that thing. I'll pack two on top of it. I got a two drawer and a four drawer. I'll put on top of that, and I roll it around the building all day long. It is nice. I beat the crap out of it, but it's just that height, man. It sucks.
What's up,
Lexi said
Fletch
that you
Maintenance
should see
Tech?
the little 10-inch structured bag behind you, and that he really misses the 10-inch tote before they structured ones.
Mhm. Yep, those little 10 inches are pretty nice. I bought that Milwaukee behind me. I bought that for just my HVAC. I like it, but I don't care much for the handle. I almost bought the Vito bag that looks just like that one. It's a smaller one.
Yeah.
I think Milwaukee come out with that line of bag to mimic the Vito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the vetoes are the OTMC and the OTSC. I think are the two veto. Like the OSC is really really small, and the
Yeah.
MC's maybe a little bit bigger than that one. But
Right. Yeah,
let's
I've got
see. Tool
two of
collector
those for
Clint said, "Joey, the Bucky's open near me. Finally, about an hour north. Going to wait a month to visit. So busy. Yeah, whenever. So there's a Bucky's like 10 minutes from me, and whenever it opened, you couldn't even get off the interstate. Like the interstate was backed up forever. It's always busy, but like whenever it first opened, it was. I remember it being like we didn't even go for like a month or two after it first opened. Of course, I've been to one before that, anyways. I don't know if mine ever got the mini buckets. I know some of you got some Bucky's mini buckets. I'm mad at myself. I was in Ace Hardware yesterday buying some double gang blank covers to do an inspection. An inspection noticed that there was some junction boxes in the attic that was missing some covers, so I went to buy some to put them on there. They asked me to stop by there and fix that, and I was in there and they had the Ace Hardware mini bucket sitting right up there at the front counter, and I left
Yeah.
and didn't even. And then whenever I was like, "Why didn't I buy myself one of those?" But hopefully they'll have them. They were only like $1.79. I know a lot of y'all collect those mini buckets. I've got Lowe's and Home Depot and Menards so far, but I don't have. I didn't
I
have an
can't
Ace
find
Hardware, and I
any
didn't
of
even
those.
think about buying one.
I can't find them anywhere.
Yeah.
Amazon. Go to Amazon.
Let's
Mouthful beef.
see.
That's funny.
Lexi said she used to watch Murder with my husband on YouTube, and they recently moved to Netflix. Yeah, they put basically 48 hours, like started hammering all their stuff on YouTube. So that's Amanda likes the 48 hours, like all the murder shows of that. They're on there like crazy. Denna Tools just got invited to Klein Tools. Breaking Free said, I just watched his video. Yeah, I think
Walkie tool.
I don't know for sure who all's going like later. They had some several different dates. I think this time they must have been wanting because the first time I went there was like 15 people, 15, 20 people. And it was kind of hard to have conversations with people because there's too many people, in the room type of thing. So I don't know if that's why they're doing more trips, less people, I think this time around. I don't know if that's why they're doing it or not. I have no idea, but I know I think Steve's Woodshop and Tour Reviews is going. I'm pretty sure Project Pine Hills is going. I think Last Best Tools is going again.
Yeah.
Den of Tools I saw was going, and then I don't know anybody outside of that. I don't know. I didn't ask them whenever I was there, like who all y'all have coming, type of thing.
Who was that to ask that?
Captain.
Captain. My favorite Milwaukee tool. I really don't have a favorite Milwaukee. I don't. I think it'd be a throw up on two things. One, it's my wire stripper pliers. They look like a needle nose pliers, but they got a little grip on the end of it. I don't even know what the brand is or what it's called, but anyways, that or my pocket knife. My Milwaukee. It's got the razor blade with the quarter flathead Phillips. I think that would have to be my favorite tool.
And he asked if I still carry the Milwaukee or the Makita sockets. I've got them in my MCTP. I don't have them in my. I'm going to be putting a set in my SBLD. It's very hard to beat those, even though like those Weehaw ones that we just picked up, or I picked up. Well, I know a lot of you bought them anyways. Like that's a little bit bigger than the Makita 1/4 inch. Now this is smaller than the 3/8. These are 3/8 drive. But like if you go to the Makita 1/4 inch, I've got an extra set back here. These are the ones I'll probably end up putting in my SPLD. That's a whole lot smaller package, similar in sizes. These go up a little bit bigger. But the thing I like about these is I just throw them in the bottom of my bag, like where I actually have to kind of dig in there to get them out, but I don't use them that often, so I don't mind them being in there because I've always got like my flip sockets and everything else that are magnetic, and these aren't. So these aren't necessarily my preferred socket to use because I like a magnetic retention, but that's still smaller than these. I like these, but this is still probably the 1/4 inch set's probably a better bag set, especially if you're running a small bag.
Yeah, he was asking what M12 tool that I like the most. I guess that's why his question was. M12. That's a good one. I have a lot of M12 tools, and each one of them I have an issue with. M12. What do I like the best? None. Seriously. All my M12 tools, I have them. I I think out of all my M12 tools, I think I would have to say my ProPress. That's my favorite M12 tool to use. The rest of them are kind of like eye candy. They just sit around and you stare at it. You know, I got a planer. I've got all kinds of M12 tools that I'd never use. They just sit around.
I'm gonna go ahead and share this with Clint, but Clint, Erica's probably gonna get mad at me if I show you this. But so we went to Savannah, Georgia, on a trip down there, just a little small vacation type of thing. And then on the way back, we were looking for somewhere to kind of swap over and swap who's driving and all that kind of stuff. And we stopped. It was a little bit out of Chattanooga, and we kept seeing this sign every time we've ever went that way. It's, hey, stop and see the biggest cast iron skillet or something like that at the what's the name of this, Loge or whatever it is. Well, I've got the Klein one. That's the Klein Tools cast iron skillet. But while we were there, they've got like all sorts of them that have like this kind of stuff on them. I didn't even know that was a thing. I just so happened to find this one online. But they're doing all 50 states, and they're coming out with different ones. Like Kentucky's not out yet, because I would have bought a Kentucky one if they had it there, but it's not coming out till sometime like this year. So, Clint, I don't remember. Did you buy a Klein skillet? Because you might end up, knowing you and the way you are, you'll probably collect all 50 states now that you know that those are out there. So, Erica's probably mad at me right now for telling you that. But I mean, they have those things that have like all sorts of stuff on the bottom of them. I just so happened to find that one day looking through eBay, and then I ended up finding a better way to buy it that wasn't as expensive. But I didn't even know it was a thing. I was just searching Klein Tools on eBay, looking at random stuff, and found a cast iron skillet.
I have the uh, M12 quarter impact. I have the subcompact. I have the little bitty one. And what my problem with it
Yeah.
is if you put a battery in it and lay it down, it will about every 5 minutes the light will come on. And it'll go on, it'll come on like someone pulled the trigger and then it goes back out. It'll kill a battery overnight. I don't know why it does it. Have you ever used one of those?
The ProPress.
No, the
What was it?
M12 Mini Impact.
Oh no, the subcompact. No, I keep thinking about getting it, but I just don't
Yeah.
think I'd ever use it because I love my Surge so much, and
Yeah.
it's just so different from every other impact that I know I probably wouldn't use it. Is
Well,
that little
it's
is it loud? Is it as loud as a regular impact? Like as far as the impact sound?
no, and it's
No.
only as big as my hand too. It's a little bitty
Yeah,
thing, you know. Not saying my hand's
yeah. My
little.
my store My Home Depot finally put some out on the display. I was waiting around for a long time. My Home Depot is usually not very tool heavy, so like they
Yeah.
won't have half the tools that you could look at type of thing. And I kept waiting for them to put one of them out so I could kind of see how much smaller it actually was. But it is something I thought about getting. I just haven't because I like using my Surge so much. I just know I'm probably wouldn't end up using it. No, you didn't get the climb one. Okay, I couldn't remember if you ended up getting a climb one or not. 50. Oh, he said you will get Ohio. Yeah, I probably will buy a Kentucky one whenever it comes out. I can't remember. There were some of them that were already out. Like I think they started it based on they had a board up there that had the dates of every state. When they might be doing them like in the order in which they became a state or something like that, whatever that is. So, uh,
You can let them out if you want.
why
Back
is my
door.
sound delayed? Yeah, I have no idea. It's been that way the last few
I'll be right back.
lives. Okay,
I'll see.
6 years of the M12 Surge. Why not? But my favorite M12 tool is for sure the M12 Surge. And then the next most used one is probably, I like my little M12 circular saw quite a bit.
Yeah.
Are you back?
Go potty. Go potty. Go potty. They come back. Both of them come back. Go potty. Dog being goofy.
That's funny.
No beating straight tonight.
So, did you say, Laura? Did you say you're a school teacher?
I am a
Is that
school
what?
teacher.
What
Yes.
subject do you teach?
I am an intervention specialist. I work with 3rd and 4th graders, specifically kiddos that have behaviors.
Ooh,
Yeah.
she got her hands full.
Yes, I do. They're great
So
kids.
you're dealing with all the future tradespeople.
Yep.
I always tell them they don't want to go to college because they all don't really enjoy school. So I'm always like, I always use a trade. Can always try it out.
I think they need to, like, in all honesty, there's so many people that it would be a much better fit for, but the whole, I don't know how it is in school now. I mean, obviously I'm not in school, but I mean, it was a real big push to not be in it whenever I was in school. Like, you don't want to be in the trades and all that. So, and I think there's a ton of people out there that would absolutely love it. That's been told their whole life that it's not something you want to do. But
they are pushing it more in high schools now. They're trying to get more kids out of the building. So they are pushing more trade schools and community centers. So it has become a more popular.
Just so you know, because I saw a couple of comments there. Just so you know, she's my neighbor.
I am his neighbor.
She's just my neighbor. I'm paying her to read this stuff because I have a hard time reading it because I don't know. I guess I forgot to mention that earlier. I did at the beginning, but it's been a while now. An hour and a half already. But yeah, she's really nice.
Thank you.
She's a super nice person.
So Clint said he went to the lodge site. I don't know if it's Lodge or Lodge, but he said he sees that they have a 250-year anniversary cast iron skillet. So now she said, Erica, thanks you. So now you need to buy, Clint. You got to you just bought yourself all those Klein Tools 250th anniversary versions. You got to get you a Klein Tools cast iron skillet and then a 250th anniversary cast iron skillet for the whole display effect of it all. Put those together. I would have liked to trade probably HVAC or Sparky, but lose my balance at 20 would have kept me out of it.
HVAC's definitely a trade to be in right now.
Yeah.
It's switching over again.
Yeah, in my area, like if I was to recommend something in my area specifically, and again, every area is going to be different. Like there's a ton of electricians in my area. Like there's all sorts of people doing like they're electricians. So the job market, as far as being an electrician, it's going to be harder for you to find jobs and stuff like that. But plumbers, there's very few plumbers in my area. Like it's very few and far between. And all the ones that are still in are they're older than me. Like most of them that I know are all older than me. That are the licensed master like plumbers and stuff. I mean, there's younger people working with them and stuff like that, but they may not make it type of thing, you know. But the plumbing field's the one that's the least for my specific area. It's probably different in everybody's area. There's probably some places where plumbing's real heavy and there's not a lot of HVAC people, you know, all that kind of stuff.
ADD.
Tom said in my area carpenters are needed. That's my area too. I don't think carpentry and like the framing aspect of houses and framing in any kind of industry whatsoever, doing that job is still never really looked at in the same way as like all the specialty trades. But it's like you can't do any of those if you don't have those guys, you know. So nobody really nobody looks to learn that stuff, like how to square up buildings and how to do all that kind of stuff like that. It's a very lacking thing for sure. I'm always amazed at how much, like if I go in behind somebody else that's framed something, I'm amazed at how bad it is sometimes based on the tools that we have today. Like there's no reason for you to not have something square and plumb and level. It's like we've got all these lasers and all sorts of things that makes it pretty. But it's basically it's because it's a speed thing, is all it is. It's a get in, get out type of situation for a lot of people, or it's because they just don't know how to do it and they don't want to pay the money to get the tools to be able to do it type of thing. I don't know, but it's definitely that's probably one of the things that you don't hear very many people say, "Hey, I want to be a carpenter." It
Right.
just doesn't.
Well, carpentry is.
It's not as sexy as electrician and plumber and
Oh,
HVAC.
shut up. Well, carpentry is the first trade. You know,
Yeah,
everybody's got to have carpentry under their belt in some sort of a way because of that's the foundation of everything. Carpentry and concrete, because you got to have a foundation to build a house. So if you
yeah,
go into you don't know anything about concrete, you don't know anything about framing or carpentry, then it's really difficult to get started in the other trades, you know, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. You have to know something about carpentry. But it's kind of like people look down on, oh, he's a carpenter, It ain't like it used to
yeah.
be. Let Ray better pay good. Don't give him a job of it. What? Man.
It's said that Sir Wood Rooster, people have to want to learn craftsmanship. It's not really taught academically.
No.
And
Mhm.
Lexi said
Yeah.
carpenters and metal workers are some of the most creative people.
Yep.
Well, that's like
Yeah,
in every field of life, and it doesn't even have to be trades. It's like you have people who want to come and just do a job, and then you give me whatever it is that we agreed upon, and and that's all I care about is just receiving whatever that is. And then there's people who, and again, it doesn't matter whether it's a teacher, whether it's a, you know, whatever the job is, even if you're just a cashier at a grocery store, or someone who stocks shelves, whatever it is. And then there's people who like I want to do this job to the best of my ability because it's for me, like type of thing. And some people don't ever have that thought, and they just the whole employment thing is just a transaction thing of I'm going to do this for you, and you're going to give me this, and that's all that matters. And then there's some people who are, I think your brain is in such a way that you're like, I wanna do what I wanna get better at this. Like, the whole time you're working, even though you're just doing whatever it is, it's like, "How can I do this better? Because I wanna make it easier on myself. I wanna do a better job. I want it to look good," all that kinda stuff. That's just a certain type of individual, and that's the craftsmanship type of aspect of it. And, again, you can have that in any job that you're working. It doesn't have to be a trades job or anything like that. It's not
Right.
something that's taught. You have it in you, but you also I think you can learn to have that in you. It's not something like, "Oh, you
Right.
don't have it, so you're always gonna be that way." It's like, I think,
Right.
as I mentioned earlier, I think if more there's certain kids out there that 'cause whenever I was going to school, if you'd have told me I'd be doing what I'm doing right now, I'd been like, "No, there's no way. I have no interest in that whatsoever. Like, I don't wanna do any of that kinda stuff." And now that I've done it and I see after I get done fixing something up that was broke or, looked like crap and now it looks good, it's like that's what I live for. Like it's like that's all I want to do. And I didn't have that whenever I was younger. I could have cared less about that kind of stuff. But now that once you get good at get better at something and you can see that you actually can make something better, then that starts to be what your goal is. And again, it is something that I think you just have in you, but you can learn to have it in you too. The more
Yeah,
we
it's a
know,
it, it,
Amanda.
the younger generation. I of all I've worked with a lot of younger guys, in this field, and it it kind of bothers me because they don't have the drive to, if they do something wrong and you tell them how to fix it, it doesn't go anywhere. You know that conversation
Mhm.
is as far as it went. There's no drive to be
Yeah.
better.
I've worked
You know,
I've worked with like I've worked with it's it's kind of across all generations, but I think it's more in younger. But like I've worked with some younger guys that I'm like, man, this guy's a go getter. Like I can tell he's gonna be like he'll end up being all right for himself. And then I've worked with people older than me that are like total garbage, like didn't
Yeah.
want to do anything type of thing. But it's a difference of I've had people work with me before, and I've showed them the same thing, like how to check a capacitor on a HVAC unit, like because I'll be like 9 times out of 10, you go over there, this is what's going to be. Like it's going to be this is going to be bad right here. Let me show you how to test it, and I'll show them how to check it. But then there's people who are working with you, and again, they're working for you, especially I think is the case, and they're like the whole time you're showing them something, you can see in their brain, like you can see it in their eyeballs. They don't care that you're trying to
Click.
teach them something or not, and I think their mindset is, why do I need to know this? Because you're going to be always going to be here to fix it. You know, you're going to be here.
Yeah.
Why do I need to know it for? It's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you because I'm not always going to be here. That's the whole purpose behind this. It's like, and sometimes I might have to send you to something where I'm not going to be there to hold your hand, type
Right.
thing. But then there's also people you work with that will bug the fire out of you and sit there and ask you questions and be like, well, why did you do this? And we've got to take it upon ourselves to not be like, oh, I'm so sick of this kid who just asking me questions like crazy, like, oh, because it starts to get irritating. Like whenever you're trying to work and somebody's actually, but you have to realize if this person's really interested, like I need to spend some time with them because that's going to be the next person who's going to be doing, all sorts of things uh, that you're doing right now whenever you're not here to do it. And we have to pass that kind of stuff on. And sometimes people have bad experiences. The younger people do. I would think, not everybody gets to work with me who's so loving and awesome, but the people who I've seen people I've seen some people that people have had to work for, and I'm like, I don't blame you for being a crappy employee because that dude right there is a
Right.
turd that you're
Right.
working for. Like he just doesn't care he doesn't even care if you learn anything type of thing. So there's a
Right.
mix of I've had some younger people that I can tell will end up doing well that I've worked around, but there's plenty of them that I've worked around who just stay on their phone all day long and could care less of anything you're trying to teach them and just let it go in one ear and out the other. But I've had that with people my own age too. It's not
Yep.
a lot different. The percentage is probably more like as you get a little bit younger. But again, whenever I was
Joey's Eagle
19 and
dropped
20
off.
years old, I wasn't quite the same either.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good times, man. I just don't understand the mentality of the younger crowd. You know.
The the phones is the killer. Like it's bad. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty bad. Like you can't I mean, just drive down the road and every stoplight you stop at, look in the car next to you. I guarantee you they're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh. And then like the whole
Just
time if
working.
I go into a Lowe's, if I go into Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever I'm going, you look at their employees, it's this.
Keep me up.
It's everywhere you go.
What's up? Just working. I was hoping you'd pop in here. He does all kinds of stuff out west.
Where up north did you live?
Yeah.
Where up north were you?
I was up there for
Matt said,
5
learn
years.
the process, not the answer. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yep,
Learn why
that is
something's doing
perfect.
something. Yeah.
That is perfect.
I can't
That's a
tell you
perfect
how
way
many
to
phone
write that
calls I
down. I'm
get
about
from
to
friends.
write that down too.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many phone calls I get from friends and family members of I've got this electrical light fixture and I've got a blue wire and a black wire and a this wire. And sometimes I got a general idea what it should be, but it's like colors of wires mean nothing. Like in the big scheme of thing, it's like they give you a general guideline of what people typically use them for, but
Right.
you got to learn how electricity works and learn how to test things. That's the only way you can really troubleshoot 100% on electricity. You can't just go by wire color, but that's what most people do. It's like, well, what are you going to do whenever you open up a light fixture and there's not a black and a white wire anymore, and it's a pink and a red wire and a brown wire? Like, what are you going to do? You know,
Right.
you have to be able to test those things out with a meter to figure out what's what and understand how electricity actually works to be able to fix that. And that's the problem with the people who just do things based on this is how I do it. This is how someone showed me to do it without explaining it to me. You're going to eventually run into something that's not that situation, and then you're not going to be able to figure it out.
Matt said that he's been working on tractors since he was 10.
Knob and tube.
Knob and tube.
Yeah. Grab all of that with a pair of freaking bare fingers. I freaking
What's up,
hate
Marvin 3872 from Texas? I was just in Texas not too long ago.
What do you do? What do you do?
That was a good trick.
Oh, she won't last long. She only gets butter.
It was really cute.
Captain said he's got a guy working under him, always on his phone. It really made me angry. Had a talk with him, and since he's the best I got. Yeah, like I said, I'll give somebody some grace, and I'll show somebody something about 4 or 5 times, and then if I can tell, like I can always tell if somebody's wanting to learn or not. Like you give me about a day and a half with somebody, and I'll tell you whether or not they're gonna make it.
Yep.
Just Work said this is awesome to see two brothers doing the live together.
Yeah, it's this is pretty cool. I've never done a live with anybody else. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Me and what is it? Maintenance Man Pro. Me and him were going to do a live about 2 years ago, and he sent me a link. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get the audio to work. I never could figure it out, and so we ended up not doing it. You know, but yeah, that would have been cool. But this is cool because it's kind of like two different trades with two trades at the same time. You know, because you work full time contracting, and I do both.
Well, and I got a professional moderator, and I didn't even have to pay her anything.
You cheat, man. You cheat. Did you get that sink installed yet?
Me?
Yeah.
The sink?
Yeah, you guys were going. She was talking about replacing the sink. That was about a month ago.
No. I think I finally talked her out of it. I try not to work at my own house.
Yep.
I like to listen.
Hire somebody else to do it.
I like for the reason for the murder whenever it happens to be he just didn't do anything around the house. That's the reason why she'll murder me.
Yep.
No, I think maintenance guys, which I've had all this stuff going on in my garage for a while, where I've been just coming.
Yep.
Anytime I've got a spare hour or two, I come out here and kind of mess around, build my shelves and all that stuff. But I think the maintenance man is kind of the the mechanic. You know, his car is the last one to get worked on. He's driving around in a clunker that's doing all that stuff because he works on his cars all day long. As far as for his customers, it's like the last thing he wants to do when he gets home is work on his own car.
Right.
So I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah. I try to keep my projects to a minimum. I do one little thing at a time. And then when I get it completed, I'm tickle pink, and then that motivates me to do the next project. But
Well, the problem is, like, I've already remodeled the whole house probably twice by now. I don't even know how many times. We lived here for quite a while, and it's like as soon as I get done with one thing, it's like now she wants the first thing I remodeled redone again, and it's only because I can do it all. It's like if she had to actually pay somebody what like I would charge to go do that at somebody's house, like we wouldn't be doing any of it because she's cheaper and tighter than I am. But it's because it doesn't cost her anything. That's why she's always got a big list.
You better get that wallpapered up. What was it? Take it down
Yeah,
or put it up? Which one was it?
I did get her talked out of that. She already mailed that. She already returned the wallpaper. I told her I'm not putting up wallpaper.
That was funny. We had they were doing a live stream, and she was talking about putting this wallpaper up in the bedroom, and all this. He was like, "Nope, nope, I ain't doing it."
Wallpaper is so cute.
The only person that wants to put up wallpaper is the person who's never taken it down before.
Yeah, you got that right, 100%.
I would do that. I would put wallpaper up.
Although I will say it does look like wallpaper's coming back. Like there's people who are asking for it.
Yeah.
But which means about 15, 20 years from now, there's going to be a big push for wallpaper removal. So start learning that trade. You'll be making big bucks in about 20 years.
Well, they'll have a tool for that by then. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I had to do a house years ago over here on the east side of Dayton, and it was 2-story, 3-bedroom, and they wanted all the wallpaper removed. I'm like, well, what do you mean all? And where's it at? She goes, it's in the entire house. I said, what? So I'm thinking she's got like half wall, you know? I get in there and
borders
every flipping room had wallpaper on it. And I didn't have any jobs lined up at the time, and I didn't have a choice. I had to take the work, but I was in that vacant house for almost 2 weeks, taking wallpaper off the wall. And that was the old stuff, not the new stuff.
I see that now. Like back in the day when I despised drywall and all that kind of stuff, I'd been like, I'll take down this wallpaper. But today, like if I had that much, I'd be like, we're just gonna gut this sucker and we're gonna re-drywall it because I'm not gonna sit there and mess with taking down all this wallpaper. Because even if you get it off, you still end up having to really skim coat all the walls and all that stuff. It's like I'd just soon just start with fresh drywall and just be done with it.
Yeah. Matt said for fabric softener, diluted works best.
Yeah. I bought a little
I'd use
roller that you rolled on there and it poked little holes in it. And then you hose it down and leave it just set for 45 minutes, and the wallpaper would just kind of come loose. But you still scraping the crap out of it.
What you do is you go over to the customer's house and you cut out a square of wallpaper and drywall about this big, and then you take some black spray paint and spray on the back side of it. And then you tell them, man, you've got mold, like really, really bad. All of it's going to come out. We're going to take it all out, down to the studs.
Down to the studs. Here we go. Look, it's cheaper. It's cheaper for me just re-drywall.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen it done. Somebody put 1/4-inch drywall over top of 1/2 inch because they didn't want to fix the drywall. I'm not joking. It was tiled walls.
That ends up getting into all your like doors and window jams and stuff is what that problem creates. It's like I've been in houses that have like 1/8-inch paneling or maybe even 1/4-inch paneling or something like that, and they want to change it to drywall. I'm like, yeah, well, that's going to get into all your door jams and stuff aren't going to be right, just so you know that's what we'd have to do. But now, if you have a split jam, if they're split jams, sometimes you can re-spread them out a little bit. But if they're like fixed jams, that's what it gets into is all your windows and doors won't like you can't just change the thickness of your wall coverings and that's it. Like it affects a lot of other things that people don't think about. The biggest thing I run into is people like that they don't put two and two together. Of course, everybody wants to take walls out. Of course, they're kind of getting a little bit away from that. People don't ask for that as much as they used to anymore either. But it's like, oh, we'll just take this wall out, and then that shouldn't be that big a deal. It's like, well, you don't have any flooring under that wall, and you don't have any ceiling like finish up or even drywall in the area where the ceiling is. Like the flooring is the big thing. It's like every time you take out a wall, you're going to be, if you've got hardwood floors throughout your house, you're not going to have any of that hardwood floor underneath that little wall plate. And now you've got to either tie that back in or do all that. And that's a big deal sometimes, especially if it's an old house. Like you're not going to find anything to match it type of thing. Well, there's always other things that come from a job that somebody thinks this should be all that you're going to be doing. It's like, no, that affects a lot of things.
Yeah. Pulling the wires and refinishing the drywall and, maybe adding a piece of trim or something like that. That's not a big deal. But when you try to have to fix that floor, that's where it's always going to bite you. when you try to blend that flooring back in or figure out
Yeah.
that's the
Yep.
most expensive part too. Because if you got carpet, you got to replace all the flipping carpet. You know, it gets expensive. What you got?
Plug.
Are you dying over there?
We got 2 minutes, but I'm on 1%, so I'm afraid it's going to die, and then you get stuck. If mine cuts off while it's supposed to be, like it goes on forever. Like if you can't turn it off at that point, so I'm just gonna make sure it don't happen to me.
Your battery going?
Yeah, so serious.
But that phone's hot.
I like that.
It was hot the other day. That was only for 10 minutes. Of course, it's charging now, so.
I like that your whole chat is all friends.
Huh?
Everybody in the chat seems like they're friends.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Like I said, almost everybody that comes on the chats they know us. You know, we've been doing, YouTube for years, and this is his channel, so these are most of his people that come on his channel. Anyway, I also posted this feed on my channel too to let my subscribers know that we were going to do this live. So yeah, everybody's really super nice. Every once in a while you get a kind of weird.
It's pretty rare.
Off.
I hardly had anybody in the last period that's been like bad. Now I get some comments on my videos. Sometimes it's pretty funny, like and nasty and everything else. I mean, they'll comment tons of stuff on your videos, but it's even pretty rare. Like it's maybe one out of a comment or something like that.
Yeah,
that's
I used to get a lot of nasty comments when I first started YouTube. It used to irritate me so bad. I mean, they just one after another, just stupid comments, but I just delete them.
Things going in like crazy. I don't know, but I guess it's 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Lauren's got kids tomorrow. Some of us got to go to bed.
I think your phone's about done too.
But I appreciate you, Ray, for coming on again. I think it's all to have an extra person. It's just somebody else.
Yeah.
Talk
yeah,
to
we can do it. We can do it anytime.
Yeah. But appreciate you too, Lauren, for being the moderator.
Anytime.
Lauren. Was it Lauren or
Lauren? You got it right.
Okay. Yeah.
I had to write it down.
Yeah. But stop here. We'll see y'all on Saturday. If chat for the guest of trade this week is for Huckins. He's got Tech MCP infrared and AMC. So the 2 bags that are back here, the 2 bags he's got loaded out. I actually just uploaded just before I came out here. So if y'all haven't seen that thumbnail yet, that's why I just now got it filmed today. So but appreciate you, Ray. Appreciate you, Lauren. See y'all on the next one.
Yes, sir. Take care.